Amigos, muy buenos días. Gracias por estar con nosotros en su programa Café con Leche, la voz de los latinos en América. Estamos transmitiendo desde hermosa 1470 AM, 96.9 FM. Les habla Lilia Galindo. Me acompaña Thomas Elias. Él es un comentarista de muchísimos periódicos en el estado de California, aquí en el Antelope Valley. Escribe 2 veces a la semana. Antelope Valley Press. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm pretty good, and I just wanted to say that I'm, like a lot of other people, a little tired of people bad-mouthing California. So I'd rather talk a little bit today about some of the good things that have been going on in California lately. And let's start by talking about, well, first we have to acknowledge that California has taken a lot of beating nationally lately with governors in other states, mostly Republicans, talking negatively about many aspects of life here, not to mention they badmouth Governor Newsom and other politicians in California every chance they get. These people cite everything from allegedly weak public schools to the upcoming ban on gasoline-powered cars and what they claim are high state income taxes. And they call all these things reasons to desert the state. But the fact is that the out-migration from California has slowed down quite a bit in the last year. And part of that is because of some of the good things happening here. And I'll stop there for just a moment.
Perfecto. Bueno, dice, el día de hoy quiero compartir noticias agradables porque ya estamos cansados de oír puras cosas negativas, dice. Y lo que oigo acerca de nuestro estado en California, de muchos de los políticos, sobre todo republicanos, pues atacando permanentemente al estado de California a través de atacar a nuestro gobernador Gavin Newsom, también de hablar de políticos que están aquí de California. Nos critican porque dicen que tenemos un sistema de escuelas públicas muy débil, también que están en contra de esa prohibición de que podamos ya tener carros que se alimenten con gasolina y que no sean eléctricos. También dicen de los altos impuestos que hay, pero dice la verdad es que la inmigración de las personas que estaban dejando el estado en California ahora ha ido en disminución y esto se debe a unas buenas noticias.
Okay, so some of the good things happening here. Well, for one thing, no state has recovered faster from the COVID epidemic, the pandemic, and what it did to employment than California has. California unemployment has dropped in each of the last 11 months. That's 11 straight months where less and less people have been unemployed in California. More and more people have been employed. And that's even though the tech industry has had well over 100,000 layoffs. We've seen firefighters get the upper hand on last year's wildfires quicker than ever. So we're learning to deal with the wildfires better than any place else. You see far more damage when they have wildfires in Idaho or Alabama or Tennessee or Texas than we do here. And that's because we've learned to deal with it better. And then in sports, of course, last year for the 12th straight year, California teams were in the baseball playoffs. 2 teams were last year. And of course, also in sports, USC seems to have adjusted faster and better to the new realities, new financial realities of college football than any other school. So, we're doing well in just about every department. And now there's 2 other new realities that come and make California look even better. And I'm going to stop there and then we'll go to those points.
Okay. Dice, bueno, entonces lo que nos envidian ahora, el gobernador Newsom, bueno, pues está haciendo con California muchísimas cosas muy buenas. Entonces, dice, por ejemplo, tenemos varias cosas que han mejorado mucho. La tasa de desempleo ha disminuido mucho. Tenemos ya 11 meses de que el empleo se ha mejorado. Entonces, vamos muy bien. Más de 100,000 personas han sido empleadas. Y por supuesto, dice, los fuegos los bomberos han empezado a saber cómo manejar los incendios muchísimo más eficientemente que en ningún otro estado. Dice, se han convertido en unos expertos en el manejo de los incendios y ocurren incendios mucho más dramáticos en Idaho, en Alabama, en Tennessee, en Texas. Y dice, por supuesto, en los deportes, el béisbol, bueno, pues tenemos ya muchísimo prestigio con los equipos de béisbol y una nueva realidad en lo que se respecta también a los deportes en el colegio. Tenemos nuevas realidades y eso nos hace más atractivo nuevamente que ningún otro estado.
Okay, so there are two new realities added to what I've already mentioned that make this state look even better. One is very verifiable economic information. While some forecasters look ahead and see very troubled financial times coming up, possibly a recession, the latest figures tend to indicate that won't happen, at least not in California. This state, over the last year, saw huge gains in leisure and hospitality revenue from hotels and restaurants and that kind of thing, and amusement parks. And those figures have only lately been reported. And there's been a lot of growth in other industries like healthcare, social services, technology, construction, and building going on almost everywhere you look in California. And defense spending has gone up also. And that doesn't even mention agriculture, where this state is still number one at producing food in America, without any doubt. And okay, so that what happened actually because of those things that I mentioned is that California posted the highest growth in the United States in gross domestic state product. And that's the total of all goods and services produced in the state during the last quarter of last year. The growth rate was 6.3% between 2019 and the first quarter of 2022. And the only state that even came close to us during that time was Washington State. I'm going to stop there.
Ok, dice, bueno, en primer lugar hay noticias de tipo económico que hacen ver que California por lo menos no va a caer en esa recesión de la que se habla, que es posible que haya a nivel nacional. Dice, eso no va a pasar aquí en California porque se han visto altas ganancias en muchos de los negocios y, por ejemplo, en la industria de el turismo y los hoteles ha habido un gran rebote de la actividad. Además, el Producto Bruto Doméstico ha crecido más que en ningún otro estado, a un 6.3% desde el 2019 al 2022, lo que no ha pasado en ningún otro estado más que el estado de Washington. O sea que tenemos una actividad económica muchísimo mejor que la de cualquier otro estado de la economía. Okay, now you can continue, please.
Sure, I sure will, Elias. So by contrast, the two states that you might consider California's biggest rivals are Florida and Texas, and their growth of domestic product was much less than California, 5.3% and 3.9%. 5.3% for Florida, 3.9% for Texas. That's just about half in the case of Texas and what California's growth was. And that was kind of an unexpected achievement for California. Nobody expected California's gross state product to be higher than Florida's or Texas, because after all, a couple 100,000 people have left California for those states over the last 5 years. Well, that's slowing down considerably too. In the last year, for instance, California lost about 120,000 people. And that's contrasted to about 300,000 in each of the previous 2 years. So a lot of what happened in terms of losing population had to do with the COVID pandemic. People going to their parents' homes and moving back to where their relatives were, so they wouldn't feel so isolated during the COVID pandemic. I'll stop there also.
Thank you. Bueno, estamos hablando cómo el crecimiento del Producto Interno Bruto de California ha sido muchísimo más, no muchísimo, pero más alto de los estados que se creen que son los favoritos, ¿verdad? Mientras que California tuvo un 6.3 de incremento, la Florida solamente alcanzó el 5.3 y Texas solamente el 3.9%. Y bueno, como estaban empezando a inmigrar muchas personas, pues lo que pasaba es que decían, no, todo el mundo está dejando California por todos estos problemas, pero no, la verdad es que esta inmigración y se fue mucho debido también a que durante la pandemia del COVID, muchísima gente se sentía aislada y tenían que sentirse cerca de sus familiares, regresaron a sus lugares de origen y esa fue una de las causas de la inmigración. And do you know, I think the increases in the prices of housing was another of the reason, no? Because I saw that maybe many people was taking advantage of that, selling the house very expensive and moving to other state and buy something a lot cheaper.
Absolutely. That's the main reason why people have left California. All the studies show that. People can sell a home here, a small house here, and buy a very large house in Texas or Florida or North Carolina or places like that, where it can also be very pretty. And then they have a lot of money left over after they buy their next house, and they can live like kings in the new place that they went to and not even have to work for a long time with all that money they made. And that's really one of the big motivating factors. But when people are selling these houses and moving, that means other people are moving in. And it means that people with money are moving into California. The statistics show that. Most of the people who are leaving California are lower middle class or poor. And most of the people coming in are highly educated and have money.
We have to go. I'm sorry. I will talk to you later. Thank you so much. Bueno, una de las principales.
That'd be a little refreshing to do a little good news today.
Thank you very much. Bueno, rápidamente, ya saben, las casas se vendieron, subieron de mucho de precio.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Vendieron y entonces